Most developers know contracting pays more. You've probably heard stories of people doubling their income by going contracting, but what nobody ever explains clearly is how you actually make that jump. And that's why most people stay stuck in permanent roles. They just don't have a roadmap. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact 4 steps to move from employee to banking contractor. And these are the same steps I took in my own career and the same steps I now teach developers who want to break free of the permanent trap. Okay, so over the last 25 years, I worked across startups, Fortune 100 companies, and some of the biggest investment banks in the world. I've also spent nearly a decade as a published technical author with platforms like O'Reilly and Manning, helping developers master the skills that keep them in demand. And what I've learned is this: there's no mystery behind becoming a contractor. You don't need 20 years of experience, and you don't need a finance degree. Interestingly, you don't even need to be that good at math. All you need to do is to follow a clear, structured process, and that's what I'm going to talk about and walk you through in this video today. So by the end of this, you're going to see exactly what to focus on and how each step builds momentum towards the next, just like stepping stones or dominoes falling, until it gets you into that end goal of landing your first high-paying contract. And in just a moment, I'll also explain why step 3 is the one that quickly filters out most developers and how you can avoid falling into that trap too. So the first step then is to sharpen your technical edge in the areas banks care about most. And this isn't about chasing every new shiny framework, it's about mastering the fundamentals that financial systems rely on: multi-threading, performance tuning, concurrency, and of course rock-solid architecture. Now, when I first started working in banking, I quickly realized that interviewers weren't looking for buzzwords, right? They wanted to know if you could handle high-volume, high-stakes systems without falling apart. And once you build that depth, once you have that, recruiters instantly recognize you as someone who can deliver in demanding environments. The best part though, these skills aren't exotic. They're skills you can learn and refine in months, not years. But without them, your resume will just look like every other permanent developer's. The second step is positioning. Okay, so most developers write resumes that sound like job descriptions. So I worked on X, I maintained Y, I collaborated on Z. That might get you into another permanent role, but it won't get you a contract. Contractor resumes need to scream results. So instead of maintain the Java application, it needs to say something like optimized Java trading platform, reducing latency by 40%, enabling millions of trades per day. Do you see the difference? One says employee and the other says contractor. In just a second, I'll explain why even a perfect resume won't matter if you fall at step 3, which is where most developers fall short. If you're starting to see yourself making this transition and you don't want to waste years guessing at the process, I've put together a free training that walks you through each of these steps in detail. The link's below this video. Check it out after you finish this playlist because it'll give you the roadmap to start your own move into contracting. Step 3 is interviews. And this is the silent killer, it really is. I've seen developers with incredible skills and glowing resumes fail over and over again, not because they weren't good enough, right? But because they weren't prepared for banking style interviews. These interviews are fast, they're technical, they're unforgiving, right? You might get grilled on concurrency, on memory management, or be asked maybe to debug code under pressure, but if you're not prepared for that format, you'll stumble and the contract will go to someone else. The good news though is banking interviews are predictable once you know what to expect, and with the right mock interviews and coaching, you can turn them from a roadblock into actually a showcase of your skills, and when you pass, that's when you finally unlock the leap into contracting. And in just a moment, I'll show you why even passing interviews isn't enough, because unless you complete step 4, you'll never actually be able to sign a contract. The final step then, step 4, is one that most developers don't even think about until it's too late, and that's actually setting yourself up as a contractor. That means creating a simple business structure, getting your taxes in order, and making sure you can legally invoice a client or agency. Now, this isn't complicated, right? But it is essential, because without it, you can ace every interview and still never start, because the client needs to pay a business, not an individual. The developers who prepare for this step in advance are the ones who get moving quickly, while others are still scrambling with paperwork. And the beauty of this step is it makes you feel the shift. You're no longer an employee waiting for permission, you're running your own business. And that mindset shift alone is powerful, right? So there you have it, the 4 steps to transition from employee to banking contractor. Upskill in the right technical areas, adjust your resume to stand out, prepare for banking interviews, and of course, set yourself up as an actual business. Now when you follow these steps, the path becomes clear. So that's part 3 of this series, but to really complete the picture, you'll want to head straight into the next part. I've linked it for you right here. If it's not there yet, no worries, it'll be uploaded in the next few days. Subscribe now, switch on notifications so you're the first to know when it drops, because in that next session, we're going to cover how I built my own career as a $1,000 a day contractor. And this is the piece that really ties everything together, especially if you're suffering at work because you're just not earning what you feel you deserve. Go ahead, click that video now, and I'll see you in part 4.